Hello everyone, Jurassic Man here. For years, I've always seen the Jurassic Park toy line as one of the greatest in all the toy lines out there in the world. I went to the JP Toy Forum, I went to the Jurassic Park toy website. I saw so many toys that came out, but the one that caught my eye the most was the animatronic Spinosaurus. I had vague memories of my cousin who actually owned this. And I've actually met up my cousin not that long ago, and he did confirm he had a big Spinosaurus toy back when he was a kid. He was a few years older than me by the time 2001 came out, and I never got a Spinosaurus toy. The only one I had was a Spinosaurus topper that was in Universal Studios. And I always thought that was the React one that I had, or bought. But it turns out it wasn't. I never truly had a Spinosaurus toy. And I was hardly the doubt that I'll ever get that big Spinosaurus, depending on how much it costs online. Until now. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the greatest achievement I have found for a very long time. And that is the Mattel Jurassic World Legacy Collection Spinosaurus. Let's start this review. Before I start this review, I would like to say this is an amazing figure from Mattel. I mean, the sculpt, the likeness of that of the movie is just there. And oh my goodness, it's just so awesome. I cannot thank Mattel enough for creating such a figure like this. I did not get it from Mattel. I actually got this from Target online back in July of 29th. And I got it like early in the morning, like at 12:13 or something. And I created an account as fast as I can and purchased this. And then like 10 minutes later, it was sold out. It was supposed to come in on August 6th. But I got a call from Monday on August 3rd, and that it came in. So I picked it up, and oh man, when I first got that in hand, I didn't know it was gonna be so big. I mean, it's huge for a figure from the Legacy line, especially the Legacy line was having small figures at the time. It is just impressive that they made something so big for this line, and I kind of do wish that maybe next year they could probably have it, in more stores and maybe like a certain extra line with probably different colorations or so. But it's just incredible. I mean, I cannot believe the amount of details that is put into this. So much care. And if you know me from most of my videos, you would know that Jurassic Park 3 has a special place in my heart as being the first of the franchise to introduce me to the franchise. And, oh man. I mean, the velociraptors in that movie scared the heck out of me, especially the males. But when I saw the Spinosaurus, it was just epic. How it destroyed the fence, how it tore down a plane, and killing a dinosaur that I always had in my mind, always the top of the line. It just made a lasting impression on me, saying, wow, this dinosaur is cool. Of course, it did get later updates from paleontology showing that it was more of a quadruped than a biped. But if it was me back then, I probably wouldn't like it. But because of Jurassic Park, it got me introduced to both paleontology and zoology, which got me into animals and seeing more dinosaurs that I've never heard of, like Concorvenator, and so much more. I can agree with that. I mean, this guy was an efficient fish eater at his time. And don't say like, oh, this fish is probably like small sharks and such. No, no, no. You know what a coelacanth is, right? That so-called living fossil. Yeah, there was probably like coelacanths in the river, probably as big as his head. And that's like a stretch right there if you think about it. So it hunted large prey, especially 6-foot long lungfishes and such. So it didn't have to worry about competition because there was literally nothing to compete of eating that food source. Sadly, Spinosaurus died sometime in the very early late Cretaceous Cretaceous period. It's such a shame, but at least it managed to have his lineage down to the late Cretaceous. So let's go right into lengths. I got this ruler to show, and this Spinosaurus, from nose all the way to the tip of the tail, it's at least 2 2/4 long. And when I mean 2 2/4, I actually mean 21 inches long. So this guy is long for a Spinosaurus toy. I mean, I don't have the other one to compare it with. I do have this one. This one I bought 2 years ago. The only Spinosaurus figure I had from that time period. Or so I thought I did. But yeah, this figure is just amazing and incredible to have. And okay, I'm gonna stop bragging about how amazing this figure is. Let's get right into the review. I'll do it in my Instagram post or something, so you can all read about it when you eventually get there. So let's begin. So let's begin with details, and just look at that face. And that head sculpt right there is amazing itself. It has the nice individual scales on his face, the extended crocodilian-like mouth it has, along with his jagged teeth, perfectly for fish eating. But in the movie, they made it a powerful killer due to the supposed current hypothesis thinking that this Spinosaurus might be a hybrid. And I'm guessing it's probably a hybrid of a little bit of Spinosaurus and a majority of other dinosaurs that probably had more closely related, such as Suchomimus and Baryonyx, which they did have the DNA for at the time. And maybe a hint of T-Rex. Probably. Who knows? We will never know unless we get a full conclusive answer of that. But just look at it. The sculpt on his face, and that nice green eye that it has, pretty accurate right there. These ridges, although due to a paleontologist fan myself, I kind of wish they discovered that little fin on the top of Spinosaurus' head that it had in its time. But it has a lot more details on his body as well. It has these osteoderm crocodilian backside, and you can see ridges where the ribs are. There's less creases, but more scaling details on these bodies. And I don't mind this, because I'm pretty sure, scientifically I'm pretty sure that Spinosaurus did not have feathers. Probably quills, but who knows where they were. Just the level of details that they added into the Spinosaurus. Heck, even the tip of his tail is nicely detailed and colored and sculpted. The arms on this are huge. They're like biceps. Huge biceps. And huge triceps as well. It has decently looking feet, although they remind me of a T-Rex feet. A bit more than the actual T-Rex feet that you have in this toy line. And all his claws are painted. His toe claws are painted. His dew claws painted, as you can see right there. And his hands are painted as well. There is no missing paint, not even in the tail. Look at that. The tail goes all the way to the tip. The only place that's missing paint in his whole entire figure, it's probably the blue paint on top. I mean, they didn't get the blue paint that you see on Spinosaurus. I know Hasbro didn't do an accurate job with that, but yeah, at least they had a blue here, right? And even the little mini Spinosaurus I have does not have blue. The Spinosaurus is mainly gray with white striping and red, and that's about it. No blue. Strange, but I could give that pass credit. I mean, usually a lot of these toys are always limited with 3 to 4 colors in general, right? I mean, I'm not saying that the Mattel ones are like that. I'm just saying in general in Jurassic Park toys, it's always the rule of 3 to 4 for colorations on these guys. Look at Kenner's, you'll see. But yeah, coloration on the Spinosaurus is great, especially on the head. That red is more bold on the head, along with the green eyes and the gray mouth, or the head in general, just looks menacing and ferocious. And it's just great to have this. Now, why am I showing this side? Well, let's just say it's just as good on one side and the other side, because technically this is actually pretty accurate, or not accurate, more symmetrical. of this Spinosaurus, especially on the striping. And I have noticed people been finding Spinosaurus with stripings much bolder, especially on the calf with the leg. I've seen some much larger and only threes. A lot of them have like stripes kind of like a zebra. But overall, I think these stripings on the Spinosaurus is pretty cool. A little light, I do gotta say for that, but it's pretty awesome itself. Now, if there's one thing I do wish it did had was the blue that it had on the back of its sail. But yeah, another thing to mention is that it's all hollow plastic. The only parts that actually have soft plastic are the teeth. Oh wait, no, actually no. On the claws, feet, not even the tip of the tail, which has soft plastic. Oh, what do you think will have soft plastic? The sail. The sail has soft plastic, and it's a separate piece. And there's a little molding drip right there, as you can see. And it gives you an idea how they molded these figures and such. But overall, this sail piece, it's pretty small, but I don't think the sail is small. I think it's a Spinosaurus in general that's huge. It's just beefed up compared to the T-Rexes that they have in the rest of this line. So beefy and so awesome. And I'm dragging this video much longer than it should be, so let's get right into articulations, huh? Now, articulations are just like that of the extreme chomping T-Rex. It has a ball joint in its tail, which you can snap in general. I wouldn't recommend doing this because it's loosened on my Spinosaurus, but you hear that click? See, look, that loosens the tail, so don't do that. It has a leg articulation on the hips, and they actually don't squeak like my chomping T-Rex. And of course, just like the chomping and many other figures, they have swivels on their foot on both sides. Actually, on the left leg, it has a ratchet. I don't know why it has that, but it has a ratchet. And of course, it does pivot out, but I have a problem that my left leg is a little loose on mine, as you can see right there. However, the front arms, which is the gray part, are very nicely put in and well done. And they do spread out, as you can see right here. However, that's as far as I can spread with both arms. And once they're spread out, they're hard to turn. So I would recommend pushing them in, turning it in position, and sticking it out. That's a little easier said than done. Now there's more articulation on the fins, sadly for that, but there is neck articulation, and it's done even better than that of the extreme chomping T-Rexes. Because if you know, the one has like a folded out part of the skin. The folded out part is actually within the body. So it gives you a nice range of seamlessness right here, and it looks well smoothed in. It's a little small, I do gotta say, compared to the Suchomimus and Spyrionyx toys, but overall it's fine in general. The base of the head right here is a little squeaky for me. I don't really like that too well, but what do you gotta do? And of course, the action feature, which comes to the chomping feature on this Spinosaurus, is very well made. It's a lot smoother than that of the extreme chomping T-Rex, but it's a lot different. Unlike the Suchomimus compared to the Carnotaurus where it bobbed, this one is a lot more fluent, like that of the Carnotaurus. And as you can see, as I push it hard, the tongue jiggles, because the tongue is on a separate piece, instead of like those promotional pictures or the old extreme chomping T-Rex, where the tongue would just be stiff sticking out. I'm glad I didn't do that, because now you could probably fit figures in easily. Sorry, little baby. And actually holds much better than that of the extreme chomping T-Rex too, comparing that the head is a lot more extended and narrow compared to the T-Rex. You think the T-Rex would have a much stronger grip when it comes to biting down on figures, but it doesn't. And that's what I love. I just love this figure. But of course, not everything has its goods and bads. So, the bad I have to say is that its tail is small. That's about it. The tail is just small. I don't know why. It's so skinny and flimsy. Mattel's been having a trouble with these recently. I mean, look at most of their toys are having small, thin tails or packaged with their tails too small. I don't know why. That's probably my only thing I don't like what Mattel's doing with some of these toys. They got the T-Rex right. What's wrong with the other dinosaurs? They're just small tails. I mean, extended a bit. I mean, I know Spinosaurus pretty much had a small tail, but it was at least long and beefy. This is pretty skinny in the bottom. Though not as very, very thin as that of the old Chompin T-Rex from Hasbro, as you can say from that. But overall, I just love this toy. The sculpt, the details, the play feature. It's more fluent, it's much more great. Although mines do have wobbly features on that of the hip and on the tail. But overall, I do gotta say, this is a well quality made toy for Mattel. And it's just wonderful. It outbeats my old Spinosaurus and my chomping T-Rex. Now let's trigger people. Yeah, now let's get right into comparisons. Now this video is already long enough, so enjoy this small little side of all these different dinosaur figures that I have that I wanted to do, but man, this video is so long in general itself. So I guess just enjoy this little small slideshow, and yeah. So what score would I give the Spinosaurus? Well, it's pretty obvious. It has nice details. The paint job is incredible. The action features is much more fluent, although the joints are a bit loose on mines, especially just the back part. But overall, this sculpt is just top notch and it's a great improvement and looks much better than that of the promotional picture that we saw. And my score would be none other than a 5 out of 5. A perfect score and a well-deserved figure in the collection, especially for those that couldn't get the giant animatronic Spinosaurus figure back from 2001 or in any time. So the guy retails at $24.99 actually. Although he's only $24, it's pretty hard to find him considering that he's pretty cheap compared to the old one, making him a bit more harder to get and to come by. But I hope that you guys find it. I wish you luck. So, hope you guys like this review. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And see you guys next time.